Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
Welcome to The Point with Kristyn, Burtt, presented by Dance Network and Popcorn Talk. We are so excited you guys are joining us today because we do have a repeat guest. But before I introduce her, because I adore her, I'm so excited that she's here. One thing I just wanted to mention, because I know it's been a very big and heavy week for a lot of people, and I'm talking about the loss of Kobe Bryant. I do want to mention him on this show because he was a very good friend to dance. And for some of you who didn't know, he was a big presence on the Dancing with the Stars set, always there supporting Derek Fisher and supporting Rick Fox and supporting Zendaya when she was a contestant on season 16. He would take his daughters to American Ballet Theater when they were out here in Orange County to see Misty Copeland dance. As late as this past December, they were there. So I just want to express my condolences to the Bryant family and all of the other families who lost their loved ones this week. But great loss not only to the athletic community, the entertainment community, but also the dance community. And with that, I am going to introduce our guest, and this was a fan-requested episode. We are bringing her back to the show, Audrey Lane-Partlow. Welcome back.
Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be back.
I'm so excited to have you here. Did you have any interactions at all with Kobe? He was in the dance community quite a bit, so...
Not personally, but a lot of my friends, have been very inspired by him, including myself, and it definitely was a great loss.
It really was a great loss, and I loved that. One of the things I don't think a lot of people know, he would always check in on people. He would slide into their DMs, be like, "How you doing? Stay focused," and he would do that to even a lot of the dancers, which I thought was amazing that he took an interest.
My old friend Sophia Wiley, we were on IMMABEAST together.
High School Musical, the musical, the series.
Amazing. She's doing amazing. I saw her post him checking up on her, and it's amazing that there was someone like that to support everybody.
Really, and everybody, and it doesn't have to just be, well, dancers are athletes, but it just doesn't have to be in the sports world or anything else like that.
Yeah, just anyone that,
Yeah, that legacy will live on, so... That's the one thing we have to remember.
Yeah, for sure.
That's so good. Well, how have you been doing since I saw you, April 9th, 2019?
April 9th. Now it is, I don't even know what.
January something or other.
Yes,
27th, 23rd, I don't know. It's 28th. I think it's the 28th.
I've been good. It's just been a busy year, just opening myself up to new things and trying new things. I'm grateful for all the experiences I've had, and yeah.
Well, what does life look like after World of Dance? Because when I saw you and Mia and you guys were sitting here, it was kind of in the middle of the series still running, because I think the series probably had another 2 or 3 months left before we found out the winner. What was that like? Because there's a lot of momentum and you kind of have to ride that wave a little bit.
Yeah.
Otherwise you miss it.
Yeah, for sure. It was kind of hard because after we got cut together, I was kind of in my head a little bit about stuff, but Mia definitely helped me to introduce me to the world more of social media and using that momentum, and B-Dash and Concrete too. Just creating content, taking classes together, learning together. It helped me a lot, yeah.
We had a little discussion before the show, and I thought this was really interesting because oftentimes we see dancers and they're posting a lot and they're getting into all the likes and the comments and everything, and sometimes too much so. You're someone that's I don't necessarily need social media.
Yeah. I feel like you can be very reliant on social media, and sometimes that's not the best thing. I think you have to be smart about it. Think about it from a business standpoint. You are a business, so you have to put yourself out how you want to be seen, and not necessarily sell yourself, but almost like a resume. And I love social media for certain aspects and don't for certain aspects, it can hurt your mentality and really make you feel down on yourself, but it can also give you amazing opportunities and it can help you meet new people and be inspired. So I think you just have to have the right outlook on it.
You do, and you have to find that right balance. And as we were saying, there's no roadmap of how we're all supposed to navigate social media.
It's confusing as heck.
I'm confused.
Yes.
I'm glad your mom is here to help you along the way and stuff too, because I mean, there's times that I sit there and I go, there's days I'm like, I have to post something, you know, you're required to, whether it's for a promotion for the show or something else like that. And sometimes I'm like, I just don't want to post today.
I get you. It can be a lot of effort sometimes, even if it's just like choreographing or freestyling. It's just like, not even a posting it is the effort. It's just the brain power. You're like, okay, I gotta do this.
Yeah, you have to be creative, and you're like, okay, if I have to do a freestyle, you know, piece and put it up, or you felt like maybe I haven't posted in a while and I need to do something, you're getting a little nudge that, you know, hey, you should probably be posting a little bit more.
I always got Mom to help me. She's always, if I didn't have Mom, I don't think I'd like post like once a year, and it'd be like really weird. It'd be like my foot and, hi, how are you guys today? Like,
see, those are the posts I actually respond to, because I find like the quirkier or the weirder, the more I'm like, oh, I totally get that person. Like, yeah. I love that. I post so many cat photos, but I'm like, my cats are nuts and they're weird and they run my house. And so people probably are like, she's a crazy cat lady on Instagram stories, but
I love it. I love it. Cats are amazing. I'd love to see them.
I love like looking at pet posts, or like when people do something strange, I'm like, that is my sense of humor right off the bat. Love it.
Yeah, I feel you.
Well, you were saying that B-Dash has helped you out quite a bit in terms of like learning how to create content that should be seen, because just creating content isn't always what we want to do. We want to create good content.
B-Dash is one of the smartest dancers I know, for sure. I can listen to him talk forever. Like, he has so much knowledge, it's insane. He makes content a lot, and he's very good about it because he has the artistic aspect, and he's amazing, an amazing artist. And it's nice to see because he can inspire the dance community and inspire just a community of people that are on social media that don't even dance, and get them to do like dance challenges and watch him and be entertained. And so he has an amazing mix of community and dancers and just social media in general.
Yeah, that's an amazing quality to have, to inspire people that are maybe just dance enthusiasts to like jump on board and go, okay, I'll do a dance challenge.
Yeah, he's an I cannot speak today.
And it's hard to say, like,
entertainer for
sure.
And
yes, it's hard to say that.
An entertainer.
I know. Sometimes I have to warm up my mouth. I stumble over words all the time, and I talk for a living, so don't worry about it. Well, also, I think what's interesting too is that TikTok has really kind of taken over, especially for the dance community. Are you finding more inspiration over there maybe versus Instagram, or is it still a little bit, you're a little reticent sometimes?
I feel like for Instagram, it's definitely more storyline based. You know, you have everyone on there still. TikTok is very new-ish. Like, I would say some people stay away from it because they're like, oh, it's TikTok, you know, I don't want to sell my art for fun. But it's amazing, and it's fun for everybody, you know?
It is fun. You get everyone involved.
It's simple dances that you can start like doing the Renegade, and people will just like catch on, and you're like, okay, everyone knows this.
Yeah, and everyone's having a good time, and you can make it as short as like 15 seconds. I mean, you can make it shorter than that if you really wanted to, but 15 seconds would be the shortest audio clip. So why not?
Yeah, it's fun. I don't think people judge it a little bit too much. It's just a fun time for teenagers and adults and anyone that wants to join.
I do it from time to time. I don't do it all the time, but occasionally. I even got my husband involved. We did like
I love that
disco number. Because I was like, we were inspired by something we saw, and So You Think You Can Dance, and I'm like, do that disco lift, and we're at the Grove, and I'm like, he's like swinging me around from his neck, and we had someone else like video it, and we threw in a disco song, and we were done.
I love that.
45 seconds or less. I don't know.
I'll be like listening to music, and then I'll just start like TikTok dancing, and I'm like, wait, this is.
It does, but it's so interesting that it's brought in a whole new wave of TikTok influencers too. I mean, we've been talking about Instagram influencers for years now, and that has completely changed. I know that when a lot of people were at VidCon this year, did you go to VidCon? Mm-mm. I know a lot of people went to VidCon and said, this year it's the TikTokers. Like, everyone was looking at the TikTokers when like 6 years ago, everyone was looking at all the Vine stars, and Vine doesn't even exist anymore.
It's crazy how fast it can change, just social media
really
world.
Can. Although, for whatever reason, Facebook still endures.
Facebook, it's for the parents, so you know they'll always be there.
I know my shouldn't say this, but my mom, when she was out here visiting for the holiday, she kept tagging like every location. I'm like, you are telling everyone you are not home at your place of residence.
Yeah. Oh no, you can find great cat videos there too. So
Yeah, there are some good cat videos, totally worthy of all of that. Now, I know you went to China.
Yes.
I saw that you were with Trey Durego.
Yes, brother.
Yeah, Logan was there too.
Davin Lawson, yeah.
Oh, so good. What brought you guys? There you are in China. What brought you to China?
Well, I got asked to teach at Sinostage Kinja's dojo. I don't know. Just teaching there.
So the Kinjas actually have a dojo in China
Yes. Or like it's like a collaboration kind of
with
studio.
another studio in China.
So Sinostage and Kinja's, which they just had an opening for Sinostage down here in LA.
Yes, if anyone did not see I spent it must have been like a Friday night or something. I felt like I spent all night watching the videos of everyone dancing in the beautiful new studio. It's incredible.
Their studios, the studios that they have in China and the new one they have here is absolutely gorgeous. It's like, how is this even a studio? Like,
So is it state of the art in terms of like technology or just setup?
yeah, just set up. It's very nice, very clean, a great space to dance in, to teach in. I was very lucky to be able to go to China.
I also imagine they probably set it up so when you film there too, it looks really good on camera.
Yes, it's as beautiful as it is on camera. Like, oh my God, beautiful. I can't even, it's crazy. It has me like,
So you were in Shanghai?
I was in Chengdu and where else was I? Shanghai. And Chengdu.
I was in Chengdu. I love it there. Did you like it?
It's a very different vibe. You definitely have to get used to it.
Yeah, it's a little bit of culture shock.
Yeah, and I was lucky to have Trey and Davin there because before I was just there by myself for a day, or I was with Mom and it was just us two, and I had like an anxiety attack. I was like, I don't know how to speak, I don't know how to order food, I like couldn't do anything.
Yeah, it's so interesting being in a place where not only can you not understand the language, but you can't read it, you can't write. Like you're completely illiterate. That's what it is.
Yes.
I was there with my cousins and they were in the Peace Corps, so they actually knew Mandarin.
Oh, wow.
It helped out tremendously. So I spent a month there. But we went to a reggae bar in Chengdu, which was incredible because I'm listening to Jamaican music. I'm an American and I'm in China.
No, okay, it was funny because we were there during like the winter time, right before Christmas, and the studios are in malls, and no matter where you would go, they were always playing English American music, and they didn't understand any of it, but it was always playing. Like
they love Americans. I always felt that when I was there, they were so friendly, so welcoming, so excited that we were there. Did you encounter that in the dance community?
Yeah, it was very nice, just meeting the people that I met there.
Now, when you were teaching, you obviously had a translator, or?
No, actually, we did not have a translator. So I was really scared because I was like, I don't know like what to do. But you would just do like little kind of hand signs or say very basic English. So I'd be like from the top, or Trey would always go marking, or smaller to bigger, more full out. And so it was cool learning that.
Yeah, there's different like sort of hand signals that we can all recognize that are universal. And then dance, of course, is universal.
Yeah, so
that's amazing.
Just dancing
and was the crew that was dancing with you? Are they all ages? Are they your age?
A lot of the people that took my class were older than me, except like Amy Sinostage. I love her so much. She's the cutest. She's the best. If you don't know who she is, you should look her up. But yeah, mostly older than me. And then choreographers, Trey was the same age as me, about a little bit older.
Yeah.
Logan, a little bit older. And then Davin, the rest of them were like adults.
Wow. Is it intimidating to teach a class where a majority of them are older? Because I think I would even get intimidated as an adult.
Well, see, that happens in LA too, though. So
You're used to it.
It's always intimidating to be like, I'm teaching people who I like, to people who I respect and that are dancers and have lived a life longer than me. But I feel like everyone has knowledge to share, and I have to remember that because I've had unique experiences that I'm able to teach from. So, yeah, I just remember that.
And there's a reason you're teaching a class. You've earned that position, too.
Yeah,
you have to.
hopefully.
No, you have to believe that because they're not just going to fly you to China and be like, teach.
Yeah, just like your first class, and you're like, China.
I know. Like, here we go. Just throw you right in there. How often? Because I do see like the posts and stuff. I know that you are teaching fairly regularly now.
Yes.
What is that like, especially in the LA dance community? And you are working with people constantly who have more experience, but are sitting there saying like, I want to show up in your class.
It's very different to teach in LA than anywhere else. I'm just trying to build respect for myself. I don't want it to be like, oh, I'm a dancer and I'm pretty well known and just like take my class because I'm a dancer and I have a social media following. I really want to build something that lasts, and I want to give knowledge that is very true, and I want to give classes to inspire and help others, not just to be like I'm teaching a class.
So if I take your class,
Yes.
which would be hilarious, let me tell you.
You do amazing.
I don't know about that. But if I go in to take your class, like what can I expect? What would be kind of like the atmosphere, the tone of the class? What kind of movement am I going to learn?
I try to keep my movement true to myself, but I've been changing it up so it's easily readable by others now. Like at first when I started teaching and I didn't understand, I would just, all
You're like,
out,
and we're all like, what?
You're like, I don't know what you're doing, Audrey. But I've been trying to make it so it's more understandable to movement quality. I feel like a lot of classes, it's just like, learn this choreo, we take a video, schwap, post it on social media, but
Right.
You don't need to have choreo to necessarily teach. You're going to a class to learn. And so I'm trying to teach more about how to use your movement quality through my choreography, but it's not about the choreography,
I like that.
But
Yeah, that's good though. It's always because every teacher that you learn for has their own spin on what dance is, what movement is, and sometimes it's not just the moves that you walk away with. Sometimes it's the mental game that you walk out of there going, that class made me feel great.
Yeah.
Or tapped into an emotion I didn't know was there. Yeah, you're having a bad day, totally turns your day around, I love those classes.
Yeah, when I first moved to LA, for sure, or like a few months into it, you can get drained sometimes because you're like, what am I doing? I'm just doing the same thing over and over, just taking classes. But I want to help people like understand their movement. So, yeah.
How long have you been in the LA area now? A couple years?
I think 2 years now
2
because
years.
I moved right before we filmed WAD.
Yeah, I kind of remember that. You're like, I was relatively new to LA,
yeah.
and I know Mia was out of Chicago. And what is it like now that you've kind of like settled into LA? Because LA has its own rhythm, unlike any other city.
For sure, yeah. You have to find your own place in the flow, My life has changed so much just in the past whatever I've been here. I don't know, I've learned so much. You just have to find your own place for sure. Like finding your own place, it takes a while and it's very stressful. And if you're in the wrong place, it can totally ruin everything you have. You just have to find supportive friends, mentors that really love you and are there for you. And once you do that, I think you're set.
Yeah, it keeps you really grounded because this city, and not just even doing one TV show, but this city can lead you in wrong directions if you're not staying focused on the reason you came here. And I know that you've worked a lot with Will and Janelle from I'm a Beast, and you're continuing to work with them, aren't you?
Yeah, for sure. They started me and helped me on everything down here. I moved down here because of I'm a Beast, and they helped me learn and grow. Like everything in hip hop, I have them to thank for.
Yeah, they really have I would say like their handprints on a lot of dancers' careers.
Yes,
it's fun to hear all the time because I find that it's the same. I want to say like 3 or 4 teachers that really have made a huge difference in dancers' careers. And, I have so many people that sit in this chair across from me, but I'm like, I start to take note going, it's the Mandy Moores, it's the Will and Janelles, a lot of nappy tabs.
Yes, for sure, yeah.
But these are great because they're understanding their role and their purpose of bringing up the next generation.
No, I think Will and Janelle have, like I said, I'm just grateful. They've changed my life, and they've changed so many others. I don't even think they know, because insane, my whole life, you know?
Right, you're right there. Like, you've had such a big mark on that, which is incredible. Right before we went on the air, I was talking about the fact that you and Mia had one of the top 10 shows on To The Point for 2019. And I told this to Mia, but I think what was really interesting is I had no expectations when you guys came on. I was just like, okay, great, we're going to talk about World of Dance and talk about your journey. And your journey was so interesting because it was so unlike any other contestant I had talked to. And you guys were so honest and forthcoming, but it was it made for such a great show. Did you guys know that we were going to talk about this and take these twists and turns where you're like, we had some really rough days in the studio?
Well, I think me and Mia, like, we talked about it a lot because it affected us a lot. For us, it's not really, we don't need to put up a facade or anything.
Right.
We just wanted to tell the truth because that can help other people, you know? Like, if you go on a TV show and you get cut, that's not necessarily like, you're a terrible dancer. It's over for you, you know? It's going to be hard, and I'm just glad that we were able to talk about it, and Mia said some wise words on there.
You guys were great, and I walked out of there that day, and I was like, well, I was not expecting a show like this.
Wait.
But I was like, this was great, because I felt very empowered, honestly, because there was such great communication between you two, and I did follow along on social media. I'm like, I hope they are still friends, because I walked out of the studio feeling so great about the two of you, and I know you are still friends.
Yeah, me and Mia will always be friends.
That made me really happy, because I think that in a stressful situation where your choreographers are on tour and you're trying to compete on a TV show on NBC, which is a big deal, it would have ruined a lot of people, and it would have ruined a lot of friendships, and you guys rose above all the chaos.
No, I think I was 14 at the time and she was 15.
You guys were babies.
That's so weird to think about, but it definitely made us tighter, and I don't think I'll always have Mia, and I know that, and she knows that too, so.
Yeah, it's really, honestly, it's what I fell in love with the two of you that day, because I was like, this was just awesome. And, I think that's why the power in your story, too, really made it one of the top podcasts of the year for us, too, because I think a lot of people got something out of it, whether they followed your World of Dance journey or didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, knowledge all around.
Yeah, no, it is a good thing, and I also think like a lot of adults need to listen to what you guys worked through and everything. The whole world could probably at this point, because everyone's got different opinions. And
yeah, it's just looking at the brighter side. We got in fights, we did, and since it was a hard time, we were young, we didn't really know what we were doing. It was our first time, but we definitely pulled through, and it's just like not stressing too much. You know, whatever happens.
Would you love to like go back and go, baby Audrey, I want to just tell you one thing when you're out of this a year later?
I would give baby Audrey a hug, and I'd be like, calm down. Just like, calm down. It's okay.
It's gonna be okay.
This is not like, you'll be okay, you know?
and that is true. What do you think is the most exciting thing that came out of World of Dance? Because again, you don't have to win. There's a lot of wonderful things that can happen.
Yeah. I think it was just all of the connections I made out of it, you know? Mm-hmm. Getting closer to Mia, obviously, my biggest one. I'm so grateful for that. And just the social media and how it went after that, and meeting people after that, that's what I'm most grateful for, I would say.
That's great. Now, are you auditioning as a dancer? I know you have an dance agent and everything else. Are you going out on auditions regularly, even though you're teaching?
I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. I usually get most of my things off of social media.
Direct booking.
So, yeah it's mostly teaching. Sometimes I'll get jobs from Will and Janelle. You know, whatever comes.
You're open to it.
Yeah.
If it fits. How about for your choreography? Since obviously you're teaching, you're developing your choreographic voice even more. Do you have some goals with that?
I mean, maybe not like right away, but I'd like to teach at like Fair Play one year, you know, like if that ever comes up, that's like
we're throwing it out there.
Yeah, it's, you know,
put things out the universe because I was like, okay, we booked Eliana at Radio City. We got Teddy Coffee on Christina Aguilera's tour.
I definitely gotta like work on my craft a bit more, and I want to do that. But you know, in the future, I'd like that. For
Okay,
sure.
that's good to know. We like that. What would you like to work on this year in terms of like whether it's technique or choreography or your teaching or just a little bit of everything?
Everything, you know. I need to get back into technique and stretching because I used to have that, and I kind of let it go when I moved here.
Pulled up a photo. There's like an amazing one of you like in a 180 arabesque, and I was like, aha, this is it.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, I did not know that you had that hidden.
No, yeah.
That's good.
I used to do mainly technique, you know. Like, it's crazy to look at now.
That's so good, though.
I don't know.
I never had an arabesque that good. So.
I need to get back on it, though, for sure. Just versatility and everything. The more versatility you have, the more knowledge you have.
So if you get into a technique class, are you taking ballet? Are you taking contemporary? Like, what would be your go-to?
I think I'd start in I used to take ballet every week, but I think I should probably like start in contemporary and then go to ballet just to, you know, work my way in there.
I took a ballet class a couple weeks ago just to, you know, I'm always like, I'm going to go weekly, I'm going to go weekly. And I was sore for, as you know, when you take ballet, you're sore for about a week.
Yeah.
And that second day after class, you're like, I can't move. You're like, your neck, everything moves slow.
You like try to wake up and you're like, it's not going.
Yeah, it's not going. The legs aren't moving. I'm like telling my husband, I'm like, pull me off of the couch. But there's something about a ballet workout that I don't think any other class, for whatever reason, gets to all those deep muscles that you're like, I didn't know they existed.
Ballet is just so knowledgeable, and it's been worked on for so long. So whenever you go, you know it's going to be good for your body.
It's going to be good for your body, but it's going to hurt.
It's going to hurt a lot.
Yeah, that's probably a good way. Like, go through the contemporary and then into the back door of
yeah,
ballet.
start stretching more, just all of that.
Yeah. Is there, but obviously we know who you kind of go to when it comes to sort of the whole hip hop culture. But who would you go to for contemporaries or anyone whose style you love?
Of course, you know, there's like the basics, Erica Klein, you know, all of those people. I think it's just taking from anyone, honestly.
Just
for
get
that
into class.
Style, it's just, getting back into it, learning from anyone, I think.
Yeah, there is something about like when you get off of you kind of fall off the class rotation, and then getting back, you're like, oh, I'll go next week. But if you just gotta
just do it. Yeah.
You gotta jump on the horse again and make it all happen.
For sure.
But I think it's like that weird muscle memory, because you know, like, you'll be fine once you're at class, but you also know that the next day your muscles are going to be like, oh, you're paying for not going to class for a while.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the part for me that's kind of scary about getting into classes is like, you're a dancer now and people know who you are, and it's like being bad at something is kind of scary again. Like, you don't want to be like people to judge you, but there's only one way to get better, you know? And I think it's just my mind that I gotta...
It is a mental thing, and it's funny because they're probably not judging you because they're probably judging themselves.
Yeah, they're judging themselves, but you always are like...
I know, but why do we do that to ourselves? That's what I don't understand.
That's my thing I have to remember. It's that, like, people are thinking about themselves. They're not gonna be like, you can tell she hasn't been doing this.
She hasn't taken a ballet class in 4.5 weeks or whatever it is. I mean, because that's, especially in dance class, I'm so focused on like trying to get the steps or making sure that, especially in ballet, like my alignment is there, like is my stomach sucked in, like was my leg, straight. There's so many different things to think about. I don't have time to think about anyone else. Even if I watch someone across the floor, I'm still trying to think of like...
You're like, oh, how could I do, like...
Yeah, did they give me a comment? Can I make this better? Oh, we're going to reverse it. How do I do it on the left side?
Yes. No, I get you. It's
a human thing.
You have to just remind yourself that it's... Even with, like, things you post or just how you do in a dance class, like, if you forget the choreo, that happened to me all the time, still does sometimes. Yep. It's just, that's something to work on.
It is something to work on, and I think we just need to, like...
It's good to have something to work on. If you have nothing to work on, then, like, what's the point anymore,
Right. We're never going to be I think that's the other thing to remember is that there's no such thing as a perfect day. We all have an off day in class or at the office or wherever it is on this show. Sometimes I'm like, that was just, I don't know what happened.
Sometimes I keep stumbling on words,
But it also, I would rather just laugh through it because I'm like, it makes us all human. I'm like, we're not some bunch of robots, like, coming out here.
Yeah,
like,
I always say, like, if I'm on stage and I, like, fall off the stage, I'm like, okay, it's more entertaining then, you know?
I'm always like, I'd rather just make fun of myself and be like, who got the video clip so I can put that up and just make fun of myself, like embrace the moment, say it happened, and then just move on.
Yeah. For sure. That gives you more power for yourself, too, because I remember old me would be so obsessed with every single detail and every single thing I did. But it's something to grow off of, and I think I always have to remember that.
It definitely is something to grow off of, something important that we always need to remind ourselves of things like that. Now, when it comes to dream dance jobs, do you have some thoughts of what that looks like?
I used to plan out stuff like very intricately, but
Yeah.
recently I've been just more going with the flow. I've been more interested in teaching around the world and stuff like that.
I like
so
that.
I don't have anything specific, but it's more in that direction because I have so much I can learn, and I don't want to just cut it off on like this job because.
Yeah, I find a lot of people, I think the number one goal for a lot of dancers, they go, I want to tour the world with an artist.
Yeah.
But there's also other opportunities. You can tour the world as a teacher or tour the world as a choreographer too. Like,
There's
don't
so
limit
many-
yourself.
Yeah, there's so many options in dance now. It's incredible. Like, for me, touring behind the artist, that'd be cool, but that's not really like my thing. I kind of like being the center of attention, even though
Nothing wrong with that.
You know, like I just like showcasing myself.
It's the Audrey show. Come on.
What's up? I mean, but there's being a TikTok dancer. That's like literally people make money off of that.
That's
you
a
can
job.
post stuff on social media. You can do little freestyle videos. You can like Lay Twins. They just made shoes with Jordans. Like.
And they were also in the movie Cats, by the way.
I know, that's-
When they showed up, I was like, it's like twins.
It's amazing, but that really shows you there's so many options for dance and not to limit yourself.
And people oftentimes go, I'm debating between So You Think and World of Dance. And I always say, it depends on what your goals are, because I really do think that the two shows achieve different results for people.
For sure.
Can both be positive results. Doesn't matter whether you win the $1 million or you're America's
don't,
favorite
yeah.
dancer or whatever. But I say if you ride the momentum, but they definitely take you, I think, in two different directions. I feel like the World of Dance contestants, I find them to be more global, obviously, because of the show. But the opportunities to like teach in India or in Asia or in Europe, there's more opportunities there.
Yeah. Especially with, how the Kings won and everything. It's very global, but you just have to know what you're going for, at least have an idea, and then from that you can ride off of it. It's mostly just going with the flow. If you try to get so intricate with it, your brain's going to melt.
I know, and there's so many things, as we were saying, there's so many things beyond your control when you're on the show, because they need to produce a TV show, whether it's So You Think or whether it's World of Dance, whether there is or isn't audience voting.
For sure.
There's narratives there that you're just like...
There's things you can't control and you just don't know, and it's going to be like that.
It's going to be like that. Would you ever go back on World of Dance?
Yes.
You would? Okay.
I would. If I had the right person, I think for sure.
Yeah. Would you do it like in a crew? Would you go solo ever?
I don't think I really enjoy dancing with other people.
Okay.
Even if it's just one, I really like duets because then you can vibe off of someone and learn specifically from that person.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, I'd definitely do a duet again.
Okay. I like trios too. I don't think they do trios as much on that show.
They don't.
They don't. I don't know why. They go into like huge crews or they do like soloist or duet, and I'm like, someone's got just like nail that trio. Someone's gonna win with the trio at some point. I'm throwing it out there.
Probably. I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens because
if you're a trio and you want to be on Road to Dance,
I know. Well, not for season 4 because season 4 starts taping in a few weeks, but season 5.
Season 5, maybe.
Fingers crossed. You never know. Well, it's good to know because I always like to hear if people are open to the option. Obviously it takes up a lot of time, and space in your career and things like that. You can't, especially if you get into the later rounds, you're solidly carving out 3 months of your year.
I know for some people that was hard because, they could have been making money then. And, when you're on a competition like that, you don't get paid unless you win.
Right.
So I know it's hard for some people, but I feel like as a kid, it's good to meet other people, and it's just like that experience, hanging with someone and growing from them.
Yeah. The exposure to all the dancers too. I just always look, I'm like, you're all sitting backstage with all of these incredible people
You just
from around
have
the
like
world.
J-Lo in front of you and you're like, what's up?
Who, by the way, this week will be doing the halftime show at the Super Bowl.
Yes, okay.
No big deal. So powerful that they even delayed the production of World of Dance for season 4 because she had to get ready. She did have to get ready.
Yeah, that's incredible. That you just like dance in front of someone that's about to do the Super Bowl. Okay, regular things.
Just no big deal. She almost got an Oscar nomination. She was definitely in the mix. Got a Golden Globe nomination. So, I mean, she can do it all.
Yeah, and then there's people like Diana Pombo, that
Yep.
were able to really get closer to her and like just know her from being a great dancer. And I think that's
and
awesome.
getting opportunities and things like that, which has been really nice too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's all how it plays out for people, but everyone's journey is different.
It's gonna be very different and you can't, if it doesn't seem like it's going the best, that's okay, because there could be something totally behind that or a lesson.
Yeah, that is true. It's like the door opens when it's supposed to. It's
Yes.
the timing thing, and we're all impatient.
Sometimes I'm just like, okay, I'm over it.
I'm always like, why hasn't this happened yet? But it really is. And then the timing comes, and then something happens, and you go, oh, I get it. Why? I get why.
It could be a year later, and you're like, oh, so I wasn't supposed to do this because now I have this open to me.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a hard lesson, but it's a really good one. And then things start to make sense. All the pieces like fall into place and things like that. Who are you still close with from your World of Dance season? Obviously, other than Mia.
I'm like, just Mia.
I mean, B-Dash, of course.
Oh, yeah. B-Dash Concrete will always be tight with them.
Family, yep.
Okay, let's think. I like Snapchat Ava a few days ago from, let's see. It's kind of hard. I still, keep up with everyone.
Yep.
I don't know. Why am I trying to think who is on it
who
right
is
now?
there?
Julian, of course. Julian and Charlize. I always take Julian's classes. He's a goat. He's the best.
Talking about someone that teaches all over the world all the time, Julian.
He's so unique, and he really
He's got a vision. He's someone. I feel like his choreography sometimes is underrated. I feel like.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Yes,
Julian was one of my favorite dancers from the moment I moved here. The tap duet that I went on with Lila Horton and Rachel.
Oh, yeah.
Rachel is on IMMABEAST with me, and then also Lila, but me and Lila became best friends. Literal, so tight.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, but
yeah, you just never know how friendships are going to form and evolve, and
you meet some amazing people on there for sure.
You're spending
I met
so much
my
time.
best friends on there, so.
Yeah, and you'll always have that memory, and no one else understands it unless they were there.
Yeah.
And even if someone was on season 1, their experience is totally different than a season 3 or a season 2. That's
It's
the
just
interesting.
the people, yeah.
Yep. And they change things up a little bit. Who knows what they're going to change up for season 4? We've
We'll
seen
see.
I know we had a wild card in season 3, and we'll see what happens with season 4. I don't know anything about the season, so I'm kind of going in. I know.
Yeah.
It's been
No one
very
quiet. Wow. You guys are doing good because I want to know.
I want to know too, and I'm like, everyone's like,
just a little peep, just
who's got? I know.
If you're on it, just text me,
Slide into the DMs.
You already know.
I know. It's true because although I was at an Emmys event last fall and someone was like, I'm doing it. And they said it on camera. And one of their handlers was like, you have to cut that out. And I was like, you got it. And so if they are officially doing it, because now I feel like so much time has passed because that was September and now we're in January.
Wow.
And we did hold the clip because I want to make sure that everyone's protected.
Yeah.
I don't want to ever ruin anyone's job or life or experience. So if it is happening, I'm going to be very excited because it was a good little clip.
Yeah, now you're like, okay, now I can finally post it.
Yeah, and I'll be like, this was from September 2019, everyone, and I'm in an evening gown, and everyone's on a red carpet. So we'll see
That's
if
amazing that you went. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a really fun experience because now we have choreography in scripted programming now recognized, as well as variety and reality competition show.
Yeah.
So and now that we've split the two categories, it makes so much more sense because if you're, choreographing for a sitcom, it's going to look much different than choreographing for World of Dance. So they recognize that, and they have two categories, and it makes a huge difference, and it gives more opportunities and recognition for the choreographers.
That's amazing.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
And I love that I get to follow it. I kind of follow it from
Being
nominations.
able to see it all,
I honestly, I'm covering it all year, but going from Emmy nominations all the way through the final, like who's going to win? Who am I going to see backstage? Is really kind of a cool experience.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah. I mean, when Cassandra was like, I won, from Unity LA, I was like, this is amazing. And this is actually funny. We had the video out. It's somewhere on my social media page, but I was interviewing her on the red carpet, and I slipped up and I said, so you're going to win so you've won your second Emmy. And it's like, when you were just like, I can't talk today. But I was saying you could win your second Emmy, but it came out like you won your second Emmy. And then 2 hours later, she came backstage with her ring.
She's like, how'd you know?
I'm psychic.
For sure.
I felt psychic in that moment. She goes, how did you know? That was so weird. And I go, I know, it was a really weird.
You're like, they just told me, so.
I see your future. So great. Well, maybe there's an Emmy in your future. You never know.
We'll see.
Let's put it out there. Well, you were a delight. Thank you so much for coming back, Audrey.
I'm grateful to be here.
Yes. And please come back anytime. Obviously, your fans will probably let me know in about 6 months that it's time for you to return to the show. Yes, I love it. If someone is not following you on social media, let everyone know where they can find you.
At Audrey Lane-Partlow, just AudreyLaynePartlow.
And is that for TikTok too?
TikTok is Audrey Lois Lane. Middle name.
I love it. We got to make sure we get the TikTok in because, that's kind of like
both of them now, just in case if it switches.
So great. All right. Well, come back anytime. The seat's always open for you.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. All right, you guys, we will be back next week with another great guest. I'm excited because a lot of you guys have waited a long time for this guest, and they will finally be here. We want to thank Dance Network and Popcorn Talk for all your dance news. Check out dancenetwork.tv. See y'all next week.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.